All right. So first of all, I'm going to tell you the answer key of all these questions, and then after that we'll start with the discussion. Okay. So let's see. Question number 1 to 4. Okay. Question number 1. What is the answer for question number 1? Anyone? The answer for question number 1. Please tell me. The answer is option 5. Okay. Question number 2. What is the answer for question number 2? Sushant, Tanya, Siddhant, Sai, all of you please respond. The answer is definitely 1. Perfect. Okay. Then question number 3. What is the answer for question number 3? Option 4. Okay. Then question number 4. What is the answer for question number 4? Option 3. Perfect. Question number 5 to 8. Okay. Question number 5. What is the answer for question number 5? Option 1. Okay, great. Question number 6. What is the answer for question number 6? Okay, for question number 6, the answer is option 5. Okay, good. Question number 7, the answer is option number 3. For question number 8, the answer will be option number 2. And for question number, okay, I think just a minute, probably marked here. Okay, 5 is there. Okay, question number 6, the answer is option 2. Okay, alright. For 7th, it is option number 3, not 2. For 7th, it is option 3. Okay. For 8th, the answer is option 2. Alright. For question number 9 to 12, let's see. For 9th, the answer is option 2. Okay. That's right. For question number 10th, the answer is option 3. For 11th, the answer is 1. For 12th, it is 5. Alright, for 13th, it is option number 2. For 13th, it is 2. For 14th, it is 4. And for 15th, it is 3. Alright. For question number 16, the answer is option 1. For 17, it is option 4. Alright, for 18, it is option 2. For 19th, it is option 3. And for question number 20, that is option number 2. Okay. For 21, it's option 4. For 22, let's see, the option number 5. For 23, it is 1. For 24th, it is 4th. And for 25th, it is 5. So these are the different answers here. So before I start with the discussion, please check your scores, how much you all have scored in these 25 questions. Tell me, anyone who has got a score of more than 8? How many of you have got a score of more than 8? Siddhant has got 9. Sai? 1. Plus 1 and minus 1 by 3. Okay. Plus 1 and minus 1 by 3. 7. I think this paper was easy. Okay. Overall, it was easy. It's not a very difficult paper. Okay. You pick any set, all the sets are very much doable. None of the short sets involved any hi-fi logic or anything else here. Most of the questions are doable. They are calculations based here. Isn't it? So Jatin, Madhur, 7 is not a good score. At least you also have got a 10 or 10 plus. Okay. Sai has got 16. Great, Sai. Alright. You started late. Why you started late? You should have joined earlier then. Okay. Now, let's start with the discussion here. Alright guys, so let's start with the discussion. So I'm going to share my screen and then we'll start with the discussion here. One by one. Okay. So can we start with the discussion now? Please tell me. Yes. Okay. So let's start with the question number 1. So first 4 questions were based on the data sufficiency. It says each question is followed by 2 statements 1 and 2 and answer each question using the following instruction. It says mark 1 if the question can be answered by using statement A alone. Okay. If it can be answered by using statement A alone, but not by using statement B alone. Mark 2 if you are getting the answer by statement B alone, but not by A alone. If the question, mark 3, the questions can be answered by using either of these statements alone. Okay, if the question can be, mark 4, if it can be answered by using both the statements together, but not by either of them. And mark 5, if the question cannot be answered on the basis of the 2 statements. So, I start with if there is a question based on the data sufficiency, I always attack the question based on the data sufficiency because they are single questions and it's easy to do. Yes, but at times, it might be possible that you get the answers wrong. Okay, if you make a silly mistakes. So let's start here, question number 1. So question number 1, it says, in a football match, at half time, Mahindra and Mahindra club was trailing by 3 wickets. Did it win the match? So there is a Mahindra and Mahindra club. Okay, and then there is one more club. We do not know, let's say that is simply, I'll write down. There is another club here. Okay. And in a football match at half time, Mahindra and Mahindra club was trailing by 3 goals. So if Mahindra and Mahindra has scored X goals, then the other club has scored X plus 3 goals. So this is the till half time. Now, this is the information which is given in the question itself. Now, coming to the statement A. Now, what does the statement A says? In the second half, Mahindra and Mahindra scored 4 goals. So, in the second half, Mahindra and Mahindra scored 4 goals. Okay. And what about this club? How much goals is scored by this club? We have no idea. Okay. So, total goals scored here, it will be equal to nothing but X plus 4. And here it is equal to X plus T plus 3. So whether the first statement is sufficient, on the basis of first state, can I identify that which team won the match? No. Alright. Now, if I say statement B says the opponent scored 4 goals in the match. Okay, so the opponent scored 4 goals in the match. So we know Mahindra and Mahindra scored X plus 3. First half. Okay, second half, we have no idea how much goals are scored. But statement B alone, it says the total number of goals scored by opponent is equal to 4. So we know that the total number of goals scored by the opponent is equal to 4. But what is the number of goals scored by this? Any idea in this case? Now, so from here, what I can say, what are the possible values here? If I check for the statement B individually, okay. If I check the statement B individually, so can I see the possibilities that Mahindra and Mahindra scored 0 and 3? Okay, or Mahindra and Mahindra scored 1 and the opposition has scored 3 goals in the first half. Okay, in the first half. And at the end of the tournament, it says opposition scored 4 goals. So, in the first case, 3 plus 1, 4. Alright, here it is 1 and 4. And in the second half, the other club has scored 0 goals, so 4 plus 0, 4. But what about the score of the Mahindra and Mahindra? We have no idea. So second statement number B is also individually it is not sufficient. So statement A is individually not sufficient, statement B is individually not sufficient. Then what to do? Then only I need to now combine these 2 statements. So if I combine both the statements together, so we know from statement B we have got 2 different possibilities. Okay. And statement A says that in the second half, Mahindra and Mahindra scored 4 goals. So even if Mahindra and Mahindra scored 4 goals, so if I write down here, if the Mahindra and Mahindra scored 4 goals, so let's say in the second half, so this is 4 and this is 4. So here the score will be now 5-4 and here the score will be equal to what? Sorry. In the first case, the score will be 0-4-4 and here it is 5-4. So again, there are 2 possibilities, guys, here. Okay. The score, by combining these 2 statements, the score of the tournament, it can be 4-4 or 5-4. So the question is, did it win? We can't say anything. There is a possibility that the match is either draw or win. So we are not getting a unique answer. Okay, it may be draw or it may be win. So what should be the answer? That it is not sufficient. So the correct answer should be option number 5. That the question cannot be answered on the basis of these 2 statements. The correct answer for this question is option number 5. Any doubts to anyone now? Tell me. No. So can I move to the next question? Question number 2. All right. Now coming to question number 2. Okay. In a particular school, 60 students were athletes. So we know the number of athletes is equal to 60 here. Okay. So number of athletes in a school, that is equal to 60. 10 among them were among the top academic performers. So out of this 60, 10 of them are nothing but the top performers. Okay, top performers in the performers. Okay, top performers in the academics. That is given here. Okay. Now the question is, in the entire school, how many top academic performers were there? Now let's start with the statement A individually. Statement A individually, it says that 60% of the top performers were not athletes. So 60% were not athletes. So how many were athletes? So can you say 40% of the top performers, 40% of the top performers were nothing but they are athletes, and the 40% of the top performers are athletes. So this value is equal to 10. So if 40% is equal to of top performers, it is equal to the 10 here. Okay. So it means we can find out the answer. Now remember, it's not necessary to find out the exact answer. So we know that 40% of the top performance is equal to, say, so what is the total number of top performers? That is equal to 10 by 40 into 100. Okay. So yes, statement A is individually sufficient. It's not necessary to find out the exact value. We are getting a unique answer. Now, let's check statement B individually now. All the top academic performers were not necessarily athletes. So all the top academic, are you getting any information? Any values? No, we are not getting any information at all. So statement B is individually not sufficient. So A is individually sufficient, but B is not sufficient. So the answer should be what? Option 1. Okay, the correct answer is option 1. That statement A is individually sufficient, but B is not sufficient at all. Any doubts to anyone now? Please tell me. Nowadays, from past so many years, I've never seen a question based on data sufficiency in the CAT. It's like, I think probably in the last 8 years or 10 years, I have never seen question based on data sufficiency. But yes, they might ask also. In nursing only you get a lot of questions, isn't it? Based on data sufficiency. Okay. Now, third. It says 5 students, Atul, Bala, Chetan, Dev and Ernesto were the only ones who participated in the quiz contest. They were ranked based on their scores in the contest. Dev got a higher rank. So we know that Dev got a higher rank compared to E. While Bala got a higher rank as compared to C, that is Chetan. So B is got a higher rank than Chetan. And Chetan rank was lower than the median. Now what does it mean? If the Chetan rank was lower than the median, so I can say if the rank is 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5. So Chetan rank is lower than the median. So what are the possible rank of the Chetan? Can you say that has to be 4 and 5? The median value is the third position, the middle. So the possibility for Chetan rank is 4 or 5. That's it. Now let's start with the statement A individually. What does the statement A says? A says Atul was the last rank holder. So Atul, I put Atul as the last rank holder. So Atul has the last rank holder. So Chetan must be at the 4th. But with the first statement individually, can we identify who has got the highest rank? No. Who will come at the 1st, 2nd, 3rd position? So I'll say we know that B is always comes before C. So the possibility is B can come at the 3rd position, or B can come at the 2nd position, or B can come at the 1st position in all these 3 cases. Alright, in all these cases. And D should be before E. So D and B in the first case, in the second case, D and E, and in the third case, I can say D and E. So from the first statement individually, there are 2 possibilities. And who can get the highest rank? It can be either Bala or Dev. So we are not getting a unique information. So the first statement is not at all individually sufficient. The answer can be either B or D. So statement 2 individually. Statement 2 individually says that the Bala was not among the top 2 rank holder. So Bala is not among the top two. So it means what? Statement 2 says Bala is not among the top two. It is either 3 or 4, 5. But can we identify who is at the first rank? Again, no. Anything is possibilities. Lot of possibilities are there. But if I combine these two statements, we will get that Bala is not among the top rank holders. So the third case will be ruled out. And if the third case will be ruled out, so in the first two cases, in both the cases, he is at the first position. So that's why the combination of both the statements are needed. And if the combination of both the statements are needed, the answer will be option number 4. The correct answer for this question is option 4. Now tell me if there is any doubts to anyone now. No. So can I move to the next question? Okay. All right. Now, fourth says 30% of the employees of a call center are males. So 30% of the employees of a call center are males here. Okay. So we do not know 30%. So if I assume the total number of employees 100, I'm just assuming one number 100. So 30% were males. So number of males, it is equal to nothing but that is 30. And the number of females, it is equal to how much? Equal to 70. So 30% were males and the number of females is 70. Now it says 10% of the female employees have an engineering background. So 10% of female. So 10% of 70, that is 7. So 7 of the female have got engineering. Now the question is, what is the percentage of male employees with engineering background? So I need to find out percentage of male employees with engineering. So basically I need to find out how many engineers are male. If we get this data, then we can find out the percentage also. Let's check statement A individually. It says 25% of the employees have engineering background. So the total number of employees who have from the engineering background, and out of which 7 of them are already female. We know that here the 7 of them are female. So number of male will be, that is 25 minus 7, which is equal to 18. So we have got 18 male engineers. So we can find out the percentage also. Now remember, in DS, it's not necessary to find out the exact answer. You just need to check, can we find the answer or not? So yes, first statement. With the first statement, we can find out the number of male engineers. So we can definitely find out the percentage also. So A is individually sufficient. Now let's take statement B individually. Now, number of male employees having an engineering background. So number of male employees having an engineering background is 20% more than the number of female employees having an engineering. Okay. So the female employees has 7 engineering background. So number of male will be nothing but that is 7. And it is 20% more. So that is 7 into 1.2. So this is the total number of male engineers. So if we can find out, that is 8.4. Remember, it is here we have just assumed 100. It has to be an integer, but you can say 100x or 8.4x and so on. So can we find out what is the percentage? Yes. Now we know that there are 8.4 males are engineers. So we can also find out the percentage of engineers. So statement B is also individually sufficient. So if both the statements are individually sufficient, the correct answer should be option number. And this is the answer. Now tell me if there is any doubts to anyone in question number 4. Please respond. Sai, Nikita, Jatin, Madhur, Siddhant, and everyone? No. So, can we move to the next slide if this part is clear to all of you? Okay, great. Now 5 to 8. Let's see. The proportion of male student and the proportion of vegetarian student in a school are given below. Okay, so male and vegetarian, these proportions are given. The school has a total of 800 students, of whom 80% of whom are in the secondary section. Okay, so total number of students is nothing but that is 800. Okay, so we know that the total number of students is equal to 800. All right. So if the total number of students is 800, okay, I can write 800. So how many 80% of them are in the secondary section? So can you guys tell me what is the number of students in the secondary section now? That is 640 students in a secondary section. and rest equally divided between class 11 and 12. Okay, so 20% of 800, 20% of 800 is 120, and 20% of 800 is 160, and these 160 students is divided equally. So in class 12 there are 80 students, and in class 11 also there are 80 students here. Okay. Now in class 12, 80 students are there, and number of male is 60%. So what is the total number of males in class 12? Please tell me. Total number of males in class 12. 60% of 80, that is equal to 48. So 60% of 80, that is equal to 48. Okay. Now in class 11, how many males are there? 55%. So 55% of 80. So 55% of 80, that's right, that is equal to 44. Okay. So number of males here, it is equal to 44. For secondary section, percentage of males is not given. So we can leave that as of now. But we know that the total number of males is 0.475. Means 47.5%. So out of 800, I need to find out 47.5. So 800, 50% of 800 is 400. 50% is 400. So 5% is equal to 40. And 5% is 40. So 2.5% is equal to what? 20. So 50% is equal to 400. 2.5% is equal to 20. So 400 minus 20, that is equal to 380. So total number of male here, it is equal to 380. So can you tell me in the secondary section how many males are there? Anyone? 48 plus 44 and subtract it from 380. Yes, that's right side. So the number of students, number of males in the secondary section, that will be 380 minus 48 minus 44. So 380 minus 48 minus 44, that will be comes out to be equal to 288. So we have find out that it is 288. Similarly, now on the basis of this, we can also find out the number of females. Yes or no? So can you guys tell me how many females are there? Okay. So if I'm talking about the females, we know in class 12, there are 80 males. If you look at here, in the class 12, okay, in the class 12, there are 80 students, out of which 48 are male. So remaining 80 minus 48 is female. Similarly, in class 11, 80 minus 44, and in secondary section, 640 minus 288. So we can definitely find out the number of females also. So I can write down the number of females in class 12, 80 minus 48. And what is 80 minus 48? That will be equal to 32. Okay, 80 minus 48 is equal to 32. And then in class 11, it will be equal to what? 80 minus 44, which is equal to 36. Okay, and 288, 640 minus 288, that is equal to nothing but that is equal to 352, and total is 100. Similarly, we can find out the vegetarians. Total vegetarians is equal to 0.53, 53%. So what is the 53% of 800? 50% is 400 and 3% is equal to 24. So it will be equal to total number of vegetarians here. It is equal to 424. Okay. So I can also find out the non-veg here. Okay. Total number of non-veg. So total 800. Remember the veg plus non-veg. It has to be equal to total number of students. So 4 out of 800, 424 are veg. So the number of non-veg people, it is equal to 376. In secondary school, it is 0.55. So 288 into 0.55 means 55%. Okay, sorry. 640 ka 55%. I need to find out 55% of 640. So 50% is 320. So 50% is 320. So 5% is equal to 32. So 320 plus 32. That is equal to 352. So all these calculations can be done orally without using pen and pencil. Okay. Now in class 11, 80 students are there. So out of 80, 50% are vegetarian, 0.5. So it means that is 40 of them are vegetarian. So non-veg in class 11 is equal to 40. Okay. Non-veg here it is equal to 40. And okay, here I have written one of the value as wrong here. Oh. Alright, everything has been erased automatically. Okay, I'll write down these values again as we have already find out. So anyway, can anyone tell me once again? Somehow I deleted by mistake here. So class 12, the number of male student was 48. In class 11, it is equal to 44. In secondary section, we have calculated that is equal to 288, and the total male, it was equal to 300. Okay. Number of students total, it is equal to 800. And then female. So female, here it is equal to 420. Okay. In the secondary section, it is 376. And here, in class 11, we have calculated the number of female is equal to 36, and here it is equal to 22. Okay. And in class 12, the total number of students were 80. In the secondary, it is 80, and here it was equal to 640. So I hope that all these values I've written is correct. Yes or no? Okay. Now, vegetarian, number of vegetarian we have calculated in total, that was equal to 376 is wrong. So what was that value? What is the total number of female? That is 352. Yes. Now, so that is 352. Okay. All right. So now in the secondary section, number of vegetarians, the total number of vegetarians, that was equal to how much? Can I say 424? This is what we have got. Okay. Number of vegetarian is equal to 424. So the non-vegetarian, what is the total number of non-vegetarian? 800 minus 424, that is equal to 376. Okay. Now in the secondary section, 55% of 640 are vegetarian. So that is equal to 352. Am I right? That is 55% is equal to 352. Okay. In the secondary section, the number of female is also 352. Is that so? No. In the secondary section, the number of female is also 352 and the vegetarian is also 352. Okay. ठीक है. Alright. ठीक है. 50% of 80, that is equal to 40 of them are vegetarian. Okay. So number of vegetarian here, it is equal to 40. And here it is 40. Non-veg is also 40. And in class 12, the number of vegetarians, total number of vegetarians is 424. Now, so I can subtract 424 minus 40 minus 352. So 420 minus this, that will be comes out to be 32. That's right. So number of vegetarian in class 12 is 32. So how many non-vegetarian, how many non-veg here? In class 12, that is equal to 48. And in secondary section, how many non-vegetarians are there? In secondary section, how many non-vegetarians are there? Vegetarian is 352, so the non-vegetarian is 288. So this is all the information which we can gather. And here also, again, in male also, like in each and every school, among the male also, there will be few vegetarians, non-vegetarians, and all these things will be there. But that data we can't find out as of now. Depending upon the questions, we can find out all these things. Is that clear to all of you? Can I move to the next slide? Please tell me now. All of you, please tell me now. Okay, so just give me 1 second and then we will move to the next slide. Okay. All right. Let's start with question number 5. Now, question number 5 says, what is the percentage? Can you all hear me? Please respond. Am I audible? Okay. So now, what is the percentage of vegetarian students in class 12? So vegetarian students in class 12. So we know that vegetarian students in class 12 is 32. So 32 by 80. So 32 by 80. 32 by 80, it will be equal to how much? 40%. So the answer is option number 1. Any doubts to anyone? No. So this was easy. So 5th we have done. 6th. It says in class 12, 25% of the vegetarians are male. So in class 12, how many vegetarians are there? 32. So there are 32 vegetarians are male and 25%. So how many vegetarians? Okay, so vegetarian there are 32. And among them there will be a male as well as female. So 25% means 1 by 4. So that is 1 by 4 of 32, that is equal to 8 of them are male. So can you say remaining 32 minus 8, that is equal to 24 of them must be female? Okay. So the question is, what is the difference between the number of female vegetarians? So the number of female vegetarians, it is equal to 24. That is 24. Minus and male non-vegetarians. So we need to find out the male non-vegetarians here. Okay. So I need to calculate the number of male non-vegetarians also. So we know that the total number of males here, it is equal to 48. And out of this 48 male, 8 of them are vegetarian. So how many of them are non-vegetarian? So non-vegetarian is 48 minus 8, that is equal to 40. So we need to find out the difference between 24 and 40. The difference between 24 and 40 nothing but is 16. So the correct answer should be which option? Option number 5. Is that clear to all of you? Any doubt? No. Can I move to the next slide? Okay. Coming to question number 7. 7 says, what is the percentage of male students in the secondary section? So male student, it is equal to nothing but that is equal to 288. Yes or no? So the question is, what is the percentage of male students in the secondary section? So that will be equal to 288 by 640. Isn't it? That will be equal to 288 by 640. So it will be, comes out to be 45%. That's right. So the answer is option number 2, which is 45%. Any doubts to anyone now? Okay, no issues. Maybe by mistake I told you there's something. Alright, and question number 8. So 8. It says in a secondary section, so we are talking about secondary section, 50% of the students are vegetarian. So 50% of the students are vegetarian as well as male. So out of 640, it means 320. Yes or no? Now, here there is a problem with this question. It says 50% of the students are vegetarian males. Okay. So it says 50% of the students are vegetarian males. Yes. But already it is given. So it is actually contradicting. And this question is actually a wrong question and it was not evaluated. There was an error in the question. Okay. Alright, so it's a wrong question. It says 50% of the students. Okay, so 50% of the, in secondary section, 50% of the students, it means are vegetarian male. So, A possible in here. That means that is 320 of them are vegetarian male. So that is a wrong interpretation. So all the data which has been already given, that will contradict. So this was a wrong question. It was not counted. Is that clear? Please tell me. What is the answer? So Jatin already, Madhur, I already told you that the answer is wrong. Yes, definitely you'll get a mark. Alright. Even if you left, then also you'll get a mark. For question number 7, the answer is option number 2. Okay. So any doubts to anyone? So now overall, I think this set was easy, doable tha. Maybe there was some calculations, but not a very tricky calculations. The values are given, such a simple values are given, percentage wise also it was easy to calculate each and everything here. Okay. However, if I change the language of the question, it might be correct. If I say here 50% of the students are vegetarian males, that's a wrong statement. If it was given that 50% of the students, 50%, if it is given something like this, that 50% of the males are vegetarians. This is what they wanted to say here. That if I say 50% in a secondary section, 50% of the meals are vegetarians, then which of the following option is correct? Then we'll get here that their total number of meals is nothing but that is equal to 288. And 50% of them are vegetarians. Okay, so we know in the second, the total number of meal it is equal to number that is 288. And 50% of the meals are vegetarian. So the number of vegetarian people here it is equal to 144. So the number of non-veg people here that is equal to nothing but again 140. So when it comes to the female of this, okay, we know the total number of female in the secondary section, it is equal to how much? That is 352. Okay, and in the secondary section, the total number of vegetarian people is also 352. So here there will be a vegetarian. So the sum of these two values, it has to be equal to 352. So how many female vegetarians are there? That is 352 minus 144. So 352 minus 144, that is 208. And here, if I say this is a non-veg. So 352 minus 208. 352 minus 208, that is equal to 144. Okay. So in this case, the correct answer would have been option number 3. Okay. That except vegetarian females. Okay. Except vegetarian females, all other groups have the same number of students. That is 144, 144, 144. Okay. So it was just a language issue. If you make it correct, then you might get the answer. So is that clear to all of you? Can I move to the next set? Okay. Now 9 to 12. 9, 10, 11, 12. So usually you have seen it's a set of 4 questions. Some of the set there are 3 questions. Some of the set there are 5 questions also. Now the following table shows the breakup of the actual cost incurred by company in the last 5 years. Okay. That is year 2002 to year 2006 to produce a particular product. Okay. To produce a particular product. The production capacity of the company is 2000 units. Okay, it says. And the selling price for the year 2006 was here. So for the year 2006, the selling price will be 125 here. And the production capacity of each of them is equal to 2000 units. Okay. So the production capacity of the company is 2000. The selling price here is here. Let me write it down. 125. Now this question, if you understand it, then it's very easy. Some cost. Now it says sum of the cost changes almost in direct proportion. Almost in direct proportion. You know, direct proportion means what? If one of the value increases by 5 times, the other value should also increase by 5 times. Isn't it? When A is directly proportional to B, the proportionality constant will be there. So everything will be changed by the same proportion. To change in the volume of the production. Okay. While others do not follow any obvious pattern. For others, there is no obvious pattern of change with respect to the volume of the product. Okay. So while others do not follow any obvious pattern of change with respect to the value of the production. And hence are considered fixed. I think one line has been repeated. And hence they are considered as fixed. Okay. Now, using the information provided for the year 2006. So I need to use the information provided for the year 2006 as the basis for projecting the figures for the year 2007. Answer the following question. So I need to use the data of 2006. Now, if you look at here, in the year 2002, this year, it is 1000 and material cost is 50,000. How much times it is more? 5 times more. Okay, now proof 5 times. Here in the year 2000, this is 900 and 900 and this is 45. Approximately again 5 times. 9 into 5 is 45. 2004 also 11 into 5 55. 2005 12 into 5 that is 60. It is approximately 60 and 12 into 5 60. So can I say material cost is nothing but it is in direct proportion? Please tell me yes or no. Material cost is definitely it is in the direct proportion. It is for each of the year it is 5 times. So it is in direct proportion. Okay. Now let's come to the labor cost. Okay. So if I'm looking at the labor cost, what is happening here? 10 into 2. Twice, it is twice something, but that is 2,000, 20,000. 900 into, okay, 9 into 2, 18. 11 into 2, that is 22. 12 into 2 is 24. 12 into 2, it is 24. So labor cost is also directly varying. Please tell me yes or no. Labor cost also varies directly. Okay, so this is also varying directly here. Now, consumables. So 1000 into 2. 900 into 2, 1800. No. ये तो 2200 है, ठीक है. 1100 into 2, 2200. So whether the consumables are directly varying? No. So it is fixed. Others are considered as a fixed. So consumables is a fixed here. Now rent of building. Is it direct proportion? Rent of building, check. 1000 and 1000. For 900 also 1000. For 1100 also 1100. For 1200, 1100. No. It is fixed then. Now rates and taxes, you can see in all the cases it is 400, 400, 400. So it is also considered as the fixed. Repair and maintenance expenses, all of them are same, approximately 800, 800. So this is also fixed. Operating cost. Now operating cost is that 1000 and 30,000. So that's a 30 times. Yes or no? 1 into 30. 2003, 9 into 3, it is 27. So direct proportion. 11 into 3. That is 33, direct proportion. 12 into 3, 36. And 12 into 3, 36. So operating cost is also directly proportional. So these three values are directly proportional. And what about the other selling and marketing expenses? Are they fixed or direct? They are fixed. Almost every year it is 5,800 approximately. So it is not varying with respect to the number of units. So three of the costs are nothing but they are direct proportions, and rest of all of them are nothing but that is fixed. Any doubts to anyone now? Please tell me. Okay. So here, so we know the cost which are directly varying, that is material cost, labor cost, and that is operating cost of the machine. And the other costs are almost constant here. Okay. So if I say, let's say the number of productions, okay, number of units which have been produced, which is in the production, that is equal to X. Okay. Number of units which is in the production is X. So what is the material cost? Now material cost, you can see it is nothing but that is 1200, and this is what? 60,000, approximately 50 times. So can you say if the number of unit is X, the material cost, it is going to be equal to 50X. Alright. And in case of labor, 1200 into 2, that is equal to 24x, sorry, that is 20x. So this will be comes out to be 20x. And the operating expenses, that is 12 into 3. So operating expenses, that will be considered as 30 times. So I can write down this is equal to 30x. So operating cost is 30. And rest all of them are fixed. So rest all of them I can say 1400, let's say 1200, that is 400, this is 800, and then this is 5800. I need to use the data of 2006 with respect to 2006 that is given. So what is the total cost overall? Add all of them. So can you say the total cost, it will be equal to 100x plus adding all the value, that is 1400 plus 1200 plus 400 plus 800 plus 5800, that will be coming out to be 9600. Okay. So the total cost is equal to 100x plus 9600. And this is the total cost. And this is the information which I will use in all the questions. Any doubts to anyone now? Please respond. No. So the total cost is equal to 100. Consumables are decreasing. Let's see. कहाँ पे decrease हो रहा है? 2000, 2000, 2000 ना? But क्या? Is it a direct proportion? आयुष कैसे बताओ? Consumables here for 1000 units it is 2000. So for 900 units it is 2200. So ये तो increase हो रहा है. For 1100 units it is 1800. अब decrease हो रहा है. तो ये what is the proportionality constant? Can you tell me? But the question is given that the costs are nothing but any cost which is varying, it has to be directly proportional. There is nothing called inverse here. अब कैसे inverse है? 1000 के लिए for 1000 it is 2000, for 1100 it is 1800. ये तो decrease हो गया. For 900 it is 2200. So it is inverse. Even if I am saying that is okay, it's an inverse proportion. But even if it is inverse proportion, do I need to consider? It will be considered as a fixed. Because in the question itself, the information is given everything which is not in the direct proportion, it will be considered as the fixed cost. Is that clear? So why are you assuming it is inverse? Any doubts now? Let's move to the questions now. Now, first question. What is the approximate cost per unit if the company produces and sells 1400 units? So we know total cost is equal to X plus 9600. Yes or no? So the answer is, I'm producing how many units? That is 1400. So if I'm using 1400, so I can say 100 into 1400 plus 9600 upon 1400. Yes or no? Per unit, per unit. So total cost upon number of units, that is 1400. So if I solve this, it will be coming out to be equal to how much? Approximately it is equal to 107. And this is the answer. Any doubts to anyone? So the answer is option number 2, which is 107. Can I move to the next slide? Please tell me now. 10. What is the minimum number of units that the company need to produce and sell to avoid loss? Okay. Selling price for X unit, it is equal to 125X, it was given. And the cost price, it is equal to nothing but that is equal to 100X plus we have considered how much? 9600. Okay. Now we know that there is to avoid any loss. So to avoid any loss, I can say 125X, it has to be greater than equal to 100X plus 9600. So it means X is greater than equal to 9600 upon 125. So it will be comes out to be nothing but that is equal to X should be greater than equal to 384. So the answer is option number 2. Any doubts to anyone now? In question number 10, please tell me. Nikita, Sai, no. Alright. Question number 11. Okay. Given that the company cannot sell more than 17 units and it will have to reduce the price by rupees 5 for all units if it wants to sell 1400 units. Okay. Now, if the company sell exactly for 1400 units. Okay. If the company sell exactly 1400 units, so what is the total profit? So in that case, total profit, it is equal to 125 into 1400. Total selling price minus cost price, 100 into 1400. Okay. Plus 9600. So this will be equal to the total profit for 1400 units. And this will be comes out to be equal to 25,400. But few options are more than 25,000. But at the max, I can sell 1700 units. So let's say if I'm selling X more units, okay, or not X, I'll say, let's say K more units. Now, if I'm selling 1400 plus K units, and remember, the K must be lesser than equal to 300. 1400 plus 300 is equal to 1700. Okay, I can't sell more than 1700. So, number of units sold by me is always less than or equal to 1700. So, I'm taking 1400 plus K. So in that case, what is the selling price? I can say I need to reduce the price by rupees 5 for all units. Okay. So I need to reduce the price by rupees 5 for all units. So I'll say now the selling price will be 120 into 1400 plus K minus the total cost price, that is equal to nothing, but that is equal to 1400 plus K into 100 and plus 9600. So for these main units, it will be comes out to be equal to nothing, but that will be comes out to be 18,400 plus 20K. Now I need to maximize this value. So I need to find out the maximize this. So if I need to maximize this, K should be also maximum. So I'll take K is equal to 3 here. So in that case, 18,400 plus 20 into 3. Okay. And this value, it will be comes out to be nothing but 20 into 300. So 20 into 300. So it will be comes out to be equal to 24,400. So in this case, the profit is 24,400. If I'm selling 1400, the profit is 25,400. So what is the maximum profit which I can earn? That is option number 1. That is 25,400. It might be possible that some of you take, okay, 1700 units. So you can think, okay, that if the 1700 units, the profit will be maximum at 1700 units. Not necessary. Okay. So is that clear to all of you? Can I move to the next question? Question number 12. Now it says, if the company reduces the price by 5%. Okay. So if the company reduces the price by 5%, it can produce and sell as many units as it desires. Okay. So what is the new price? The new price is 125 into 0.95. I reduced by 5%. So how many units the company should sold? So I can sell, if the reduced price, I can sell as many units as it desires. So if I want to maximize the profit, I should sell all the 2000 units, isn't it? Because maximum production is 2000 and selling price is fixed. Now, this is my new selling price for every unit and I can produce at the max 2000. So to maximize my profit, I should sell all the 2000. So the answer is option number 5. Now tell me if there is any doubts to anyone in this set. So this set was also not something which was very difficult, a medium level. Can we move to the next question? Okay. Now 13 to 16. Again a set of 4 questions, which is completely based on calculations. The table below shows the comparative cost in US dollars of all major surgeries in USA and select few Asian countries. Okay. Second table, the equivalence of $1 US. So $1 US is equivalent to the local currencies that is given here. Next piece of information, a consulting firm found that the quality of health services were not the same in all the countries above. A poor quality of a surgery may have significant repercussions in the future, resulting in more cost in correcting mistake. The cost of poor quality of surgery is given in the table below. So this is the cost of the poor quality surgery, which is given below. Okay. Now, and these are the questions. So let's say, start with the first question. It says the rupee value increases to rupees 35 for US, and all other things, including quality, remains the same. What is the approximate difference in cost in US dollar between Singapore and India for a spinal fusion, taking this change into account? So Singapore and India for the spinal fusion. That is what I need to consider. Singapore and India for the spinal fusion. Okay. So let me go back here. Spinal fusion. So Singapore, it is 9,000 and India, it is 5,500. Okay. So as of now, it is nothing but in US dollars, that is 55,000. And here $1 is equivalent to 40.928. So I can say that is here, it will be comes out to be 5,500 into 40.928. So when I am talking about India, that is 5,500. Yes or no? 5,500. And into 40.928. That is approximately, you can say, that is 41. You can take it as a 41. Okay. But now it says the rupee values increases to 34. So how much dollar now? Divide by 35. So this is the new value for the India in terms of dollar. Okay. So this value, you can say this is nothing but this is what? I can say this is 55,000 into 41 approximately upon 35. Yes or no? So 5 into 7, 35, and that is going to 11. 000, approximately 7 into 6 is 42. So that will be coming out to be equal to how much? That is 66. Okay. Okay, sorry, this is 5,500, not 55,000. It was 5,500. So let me make a correction. This is 5,500. So 100 and then 1,100 into 6 is 600. So my answer should be approximately 9,000 because this was the cost of Singapore, and 9,000 minus approximately 6,600. That will be comes out to be equal to how much? क्या आ जाएगा? 2,400 And the nearest option choice is that is option number 2, which is 2500. So I can say the answer is option 2, which is 2500. Is that clear to all of you? I have taken approximately 6 times now, but ये इससे भी कम होना चाहिए. This value is 6600, but this value is slightly lesser than 6600. So from 9000, if I subtract 6600, I am getting 2400. But I need to subtract something which is slightly lesser than 6600. So answer should be slightly greater than 2400. So nearest option choice is 2500. Is that clear to all of you? Can I move to the next slide? Okay. Now, next question. It says approximately what difference in amount in baht will make to a Thai citizen if she were to get a hysterectomy done in India. Okay. In India, instead of in her native country. Okay, so instead of Thailand, if she decided to go for hysterectomy in India, taking into account the cost of poor quality. So here I need to include the cost of poor quality also. In the previous question, it was not given. And it cost, the traveling cost is given, that is 7500 baht. Okay. Hysterectomy done in India. So let me go back and check the table. So hysterectomy done in India. So for hysterectomy done in India, that is equal to, okay, that is 3000. Yes or no? So hysterectomy in India, it is equal to 3000. Okay. And then hysterectomy in India, that is 5,000. It is in US dollars. Now, cost of poor quality is 5,000. So 3,000 plus 5,000, that will be comes out to be what? It is equal to 8,000. Is that part clear to all of you? So if I go for a hysterectomy in India, okay, so in India, the cost will be equal to 3,000 plus 5,000. It is equal to 8,000 USD. No? That is US dollars. That is important. Now, if I go for in Thailand only, just in Thailand. So what is the cost of hysterectomy in Thailand? Let's see. So in Thailand, the cost of hysterectomy is 4,500. Okay. And the poor quality cost is equal to 6 here. So 4,500 plus 6,000. So that will be 4,500 plus 6,000. So in Thailand, the total cost will be equal to 4,500 plus 6,000 US dollar, not 6 US dollar. Okay. So 4,500 plus 6,000 US dollar, that is equal to 10,500 US dollar. Okay. Now, what is the traveling cost? So traveling cost, if someone travels to India, the total traveling cost is equal to 7,500 into, it is in baht. Okay. That is equal to 1,500 baht. I need to convert this in the terms of US dollar also. You can go for the conversion rate because all the values are in dollars. Okay. And okay, or it's better to convert everything in baht here. Or it depends. Okay, in the question it says approximately what difference in amount in baht will the Thai citizen make here. Okay, so everything convert in nothing but in terms of baht. So in any case here, can I say this is 8,000 US dollar and this is 10,000 US dollar. So 1 US dollar is equal to how many baht? 1 US dollar, it is equal to 32.89 baht, approximately 33. You can see it here. 1 US dollar, it is equal to 32.89 baht. Okay. So I can say this is 8,000 into 32. And this will be equal to 10,500 into 32. So I need to find out that is 8,000 into. Now, in India, the total cost is 8,000 into 32.89 or approximately 3. But you need to check the option. So, okay. So 32.89 plus 1,500 minus 10,500 into 32.89. Okay. And then you can find out that this is nothing but that is comes out to be 67,500 approximately. So the answer is option number 4. Is that clear to all of you? Any doubts to anyone? So let's move to the next slide. 15. Now 15 says, okay, a US citizen is hurt in an accident and requires an angioplasty, hip replacement, and a knee replacement. So there are three things. Cost of foreign travel and stay is not a consideration since the government will take it. Which country will result in the cheapest package, taking cost of poor quality? So angioplasty, hip and knee. So angioplasty, hip and knee. So let me go back here. Angioplasty, hip and knee. Okay. So we are talking about angioplasty and hip replacement and knee replacement. But I also look into the what is the that is poor quality. So if I'm talking about, let's say, in India, so in India it is 11,000. Yes or no? And on the next slide on India, the angioplasty, let me write on here. Again, we need to focus on angioplasty, hip replacement and knee replacement. Okay. So in India, it is equal to nothing but that is equal to 5. So what I'll do, I'll say 5 plus 7, 12, 12 plus 9, that is equal to 21. The poor quality for these three, that will be 21 in India. Okay. In Thailand, it is equal to 5 plus 5, 10 plus 6 is 16. Okay. And in Singapore, it will be equal to nothing but that is 4. 4 plus 5, 9, 9 plus 4, it is equal to 30,000. And 8 plus 6, 14, and 14 plus 4, that is 18. So 21, 16, 13, 18. So 21, 16, 13, 18. So here I need to add 21,000 cost of poor quality for this question. So in India it is 21,000, 21 followed by 3 zeros and 16. Just a minute. The values are 21, 16, 13, 18. So let me go back to previous 21, 16, 13, 18. 21, 16, 13 and 18. And I need to add here 11,000 plus 9,000 plus 8,500. What is this value? 11 plus 9 plus 8. Can I say 11 plus 9 plus 8? That will be comes out to be 11 plus 9 is equal to 20 and 28,500 and plus 21,000. So 28 plus 21, that is 49. So in India, the total cost will be comes out to be 49,500. Is that part clear to all of you? Similarly, in Thailand, add these two. 30 plus 12, it is 25. 25 plus 10 is equal to 35 and 35 plus 16. 35 plus 16, that is equal to 51. So 51,000. In Singapore, the cost 13 plus 12 is equal to nothing but 25, 25 plus 30, 25 plus 10, 35 plus 3, 38 and 38 plus 13. 38 plus 13, again it will be equal to 51,000. They are same. And in Malaysia, 11,000 plus 10,000, that will be equal to how much? 21. And 21 plus 8, that is equal to 29. And 29 plus 18. So 29 plus 10 is 29 plus 10, 39. 39 plus 8, that is equal to 47,000. So as of now, it is 47,000. And US alone, 57,000 plus 40,000 plus 40,000. ये तो बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, isn't it? 57 plus 40 is 100. That is 140 followed by 3. So the minimum will be in case of Malaysia. So I think the answer for this is Malaysia, option number 3. Is that clear to all of you? Please respond. Okay. Coming to question number 7. Taking the cost of poor quality into consideration, which country or countries will be the most expensive for needs? So I need to check all the knee replacement, which is the most options: India, Thailand, Malaysia, and Singapore. So India, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore. So let me see. For knee replacement only. So for knee replacement, that is 9, and I need to take the poor quality. So 9, 6, 4, and 4. So add this 9, 6, 4, and 4 here in case of knee replacement. So knee replacement. So in these values, you can add 9. So plus 9,000. that is 17,500. Okay, so now I need to add 9,644. So here 10,000 plus 6,000, that is 16,000. 13,000 plus 4, that is 17,000. 8,000 plus 4, that is equal to 12,000. So what should be the answer? That should be India. Okay. The answer is option number 1, which is India. Any doubts to anyone? So tell me now, was it this question a difficult one? No. Doable tha ye. Medium difficulty level. So any doubts now? Chidang, Sai, Nikita, Ayush, and everyone, guys? No. So can I move to the next slide? Now, this is the most difficult set in this entire paper. A set of 5 questions. So some of you might start trying, but it is actually lengthy. It says a low-cost airline company connects 10 cities A to J. The table below gives the distance between a pair of airports and the corresponding price charged by the company. Travel is permitted only from a departure airport to arrival, and the customer do not travel by any route where do not have. So basically there are 30 sectors, 30 flights are given. Okay, and here, if you look at here, the question is saying, what is the lowest price? A passenger has to travel for the shortest route of A to J. So I need to find out all the possible routes from A to J, yes or no? All the possible routes from A to J, so that might be time consuming. Okay, because there are 30 sectors here, and if I try to find out all the routes from A to J, so like I say, I move from A to B, and then from B to J. Yes, I can move from B to J. So one of the possible route is equal to nothing, but that is equal to ABJ. Okay, ABJ. Okay, that is one of the possible. And for this route, I need to find out the total distance as well as the total price also for this route. Other is also, you just see J, where is J is coming here. I can also reach J from D also. Okay, so previous slide, A to D is also there. So the another possible path is ABJ. Similarly, I need to make a list of all the possible paths, then find out by the total distance traveled in that path, by adding all the distance, and also the total price. So don't you think it's a very time consuming process? Please tell me, yes or no? ठीक है, क्योंकि इसमें एक या दो नहीं है. There are how many possibilities are there? I have compiled all the table in this data. So these are the possible routes from A to J. How many routes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So there are 20 different routes. So first I need to make the combination of these 20 routes for distance and price. So which is a time consuming process here. So it's a, yes, the familiarity is definitely, these questions are, I'll not say difficult, is difficult because it is very, very time consuming. It is going to happen. Okay. So I'll prefer leaving such type of the questions. Okay? Because देखने में तो मुझे पता it's very easy. I just need to add the values. But again, the values are not something, okay, like 2000 plus 2000, something like that. Na? So add करने में भी it might be time consuming also. But yes, set of 5 questions. So if the data set is small, then go for such type of the question. No issues at all. If there are only 3, 4, but what will happen in almost all the questions, it is talking only from A to J. If you read it here, in almost all the question, it is from A to J. In every question, it is talking about A to J. You can see that. Okay, na? Here A to J. Here also A to J. Here also A to J. In this question also, 18 also, it is A and J. So if I make this table, maybe it might take some time, but then after that you'll get the answer. That's right. But again, still it is very, very time consuming, writing all these values. So let's solve it now. So let's see here. So this is a table which you'll get, and the question is, what is the lowest price in rupees a passenger has to pay for traveling by the shortest route from A to J? So what is the shortest route? I need to find out the shortest route here. So if I write down the distance, I need to concentrate on the distance here. So what is the shortest route here? Shortest route, what is the minimum possible distance? Shortest distance here, it will be, comes out to be this one, ACFJ. No. Shortest distance. The question is for the shortest route. What is the lowest price for the shortest route? The shortest route here is 2170. And there is only one route for which 2170. And in that route, the total cost is nothing but 2930. So there is a unique answer, that is 2930, option number 4. Any doubts to anyone now? Please tell me. No. Can I move to the next slide? Okay. Now, it says the company plans to introduce a direct flight between A and J. The market research indicate that all its existing passengers traveling between A and J will use this direct flight if it is priced 5% below the minimum price that they pay at present. So what is the minimum price pay at the present? So the minimum price, if I look at here, that is equal to 2275 among all this value. Okay. So what should the company charge approximately? Now the price will be reduced by 5% of the minimum price. So the answer will be equal to nothing, but I can say that is 2275, and now only 95% of this will be charged. So into 0.5. Or I can say I just need to subtract 5% of this. So 2275, 10% is 227. So 5% is equal to 113. So approximately 113 I need to subtract. So 2275 minus 113, that will be, comes out to be equal to 2161. That is the approximate value. And this is the answer, which is 2. Any doubts to anyone now? Please respond. No. So only time consuming process to make this table. After that it is easy. Now, further it says, if the airports C, D and H are closed, so all the airports in which C, D and H are closed. Okay. So C, D and H are closed. So I can, this is closed, C, D and H are closed. Jahan C or D hai, you can close all of them. C, D and H. All these are closed, which I have highlighted. What would be the minimum price here? So from the remaining, what is the minimum price? That is what I need to identify. Okay. So from the remaining, I need to find out what is the minimum price. So I think the minimum price will be for the route AFJ. This is 2850. This will be minimum price from the remaining. The answer will be 2850 option number 3. Okay. Can I move to the next question now? 20. Okay. Now, if the price includes a margin of 10% over the total cost that the company incurs, what is the minimum cost per kilometer? So minimum cost per kilometer. So minimum cost per kilometer. So basically I need to find out the cost upon distance. And this I need to minimize. Okay. So this I need to minimize. So if I need to minimize, I'll say distance should be more than the cost. This value, it has to be cost upon distance. I need to minimize it. So this should be the minimum and this should be the maximum. Okay, na? Something like that here. Ye ratios mujhe find out karni. So if you observe, for most of the cases here, the cost is more than distance. Like 29545, it is more than 2860. Here it is more and more. There is exactly one value where the cost is less, and that is the route AHJ. In the route AHJ, if you observe here, the price is 2275 and the distance is 2350. So this ratio is 2275 upon 2350, which is less than 1. And in rest all the cases, the price is more than distance. So price is more than distances. So in that case, it just do not need to calculate for all the values here. Okay. So you can see here, everywhere it is more, isn't it? This everywhere it is more. So the here it will be minimum will be only for the route AHJ. So the price here is 2275 upon 2350. And here there is a margin of 10%. So the actual cost will be nothing but this divided by what? 1.1. Over the cost price. Here the margin is given as over cost price. Okay. So I can say basically this is cost price into 1.1. That is equal to this. So this 1.1, it will comes out to be the denominator. So I need to calculate what is 2275 upon 2350. Okay. Into 1.1. So it will be comes out to be approximately 0.8. It is option number 2. Any doubts to anyone now? Please tell me. Now, question number 21. If the price includes a margin over the 15%, which among the following is the distance to be covered to minimize the cost? So again, the question is to minimize the total cost per kilometer here. So it will remain same, that is AHJ. Yes or no? But here I do not need to find out the cost. In this case, what is the distance traveled? The distance traveled is equal to nothing but option number 4, 2350. So that is the answer. So actually the questions are not difficult, but like I told you, it's a time consuming. Any doubts to anyone now? So can we move to the next set? Okay. Question number 23 to 25. Okay. So let's discuss question number 22 to 25. So it says a health drink company R&D department is trying to make various diet formulations which can be used for a certain specific purpose. Okay. Which can be used for a certain specific purpose here. Alright. It is considering a choice of 5 alternative ingredients OPQRS that is given. The table below gives the composition of these ingredients. The cost per unit of these ingredients is also given. 150, 50, 200, 500 and 100. So on. Okay. Let's move to the next slide. So this question is what I prefer attempting. First one. The company is planning to launch a balanced diet required for the growth of adolescent. The diet must contain at least 30% each of kind. So I need at least 30% carbohydrate as well as protein. Fat no more than 25%. And minerals at a minimum of 5%. I need a minimum of 5%. Which one of the following combination is equally mixed ingredient is feasible? So equally mixed. So equal ratios. So I just need to add these two values and divide by 2 just to check. Isn't it? Weighted average. So this was easy one. This question is at least easy, not here. Too much of information. So let me check. Okay. So if I'm talking about, we can also neglect a few of these ones. Now remember one thing, like I need minerals to be at least 5%. I need minimum minerals to be at least 5% here. Okay. And fat is no more than 25%. Okay. Carbohydrate and protein, both of them are a minimum of 30% here. Minimum of 30%. So O and P. So if I'm saying O and P, so let's see O and P. 80 plus 50 by 2. Yes, both of them are minimum 30. Now, for protein, O and P, that is, in one of them it is 30, in another one it is 20. So if I mix them, the value will lies between 30 and 20. Even if it is not given that they are mixing the ratio 1:1. I can still say, whenever I mix them in any ratios, the average will always lies between 30 and 20. So, can the answer be option number 1? No. It can't be O and P. Alright. Now, let's go for the second. That is R and S. So, I'm mixing R and S. 5 and 45. Okay. So I need the average to be 30 minimum, but they are mixing the equal quantity. So 5 plus 45, that is 50 by 2, which is 25. Not possible. So option number 2 is also ruled out. Now option P and S. So P and S, that is 80 plus and 45. Both of them are more than 30. So overall also it is going to be more than 30. For proteins, that is 20 and 50. And 50, yes. So 30 is definitely possible minimum. Here, fat is 0 at 0. So no more than 25%. That is also possible. Minerals, at least 5. So 0 plus 5 by 2, that is 2.5. So minerals is not satisfying here. So option number 3 is also rejected. Similarly, now, fourth option, Q and R. So Q and R, you can see composition. Carbohydrate in Q and R, that is 10 and 5. Okay, na? 10 and 5. So 30%, 30% not possible. So the only one option left out. So that's why the answer is option number 5. Is that clear? So not too much of calculation. This was an easy one. Can I move to the next question? 23. Now, for a recuperating patient, the doctor recommended a diet containing 10% minerals. So I need exactly 10% minerals and I need a minimum of 30% protein. In how many different ways can we prepare this? That by mixing at least 2 ingredients. Minerals, I need exactly 10%. So if I need the minerals exactly 10%, so I should definitely, I can't take P, 10% and 10%. Only in these two, the mineral is 10%. And in no other cases, mineral can be 10% by mixing. Because the rest, all the values are less than 10%. If all the values are less than 10%, and if I mix with something in any ratios, the value is always going to be the less than 10%. Yes or no? So एक ही possibilities नजर आती है, that is O and Q. If I mix O and Q in any ratios, because in O mineral is 10%, in Q also mineral is 10%. So if I mix them in any ratios, the overall it is always going to be 10%. So O and Q. But let's see whether it is satisfying the condition of protein or not. So anyway, I can reject 2, 3, 4 to possible hai. 2, 3, 4. These are not possible here. Okay. So I'll say 1 and none. Now, if I'm talking about 1 and none. Okay. So 1 and none, if I say, okay, I need to check the protein. So here the protein is 30%. Here the protein is also 30%. So I need at least 30%. Okay, in both of them, the protein is minimum 30%. So if I mix them in any ratios, the protein is again going to be the 30%. So the answer is what? Only one, that is O and Q. If you mix O and Q in any ratios, the overall it is always 30%. Any doubts to anyone now? 24th. Which among the following is the formulation having the lowest cost per unit? I need to find out the lowest cost per unit. Okay. For a diet having 10% fat and at least 30% protein, and that diet has to be formed by mixing 2 ingredients. So let me write down first of all cost per unit for each of the ingredient. 150, 200, 500, 100. 150. So 100, 50, 200, 500. And what is the cost of S? Can anyone tell me? 100. 150, 50, 200, 500 and 100. And for O, it is not 100, it is 150. That is the cost. And I need the cost per unit to be minimum. That is again the condition, that is cost per unit to be minimum here. Okay. We can go by options and options. Let's see if we can eliminate any of the options straight away. I need 10% fat. So I need a diet having exactly 10% fat and at least 30% protein. I need a minimum of 30% protein. So if I need a 10% fat, so 10% fat, it can be, we can get by a lot of combination. But yes, so yes, a lot of combinations are possible for 10% fat. For minerals, protein, I need at least 30%. So remember, this 20, P, it can't be mixed with O and Q. Okay. So if I go for the option 1, that is saying P and Q. So P and Q in P protein is 20% and here it is 30%. So by mixing these two, I can never get a protein that is 30%. So option 1 is rejected. Is that clear? That the option 1 is rejected, please tell me. Okay. Now option 2 says P and S. So P and S, in P and S. So in P the fat is 0, in S the fat is 0. So P and S, it will give me an overall fat of 0%. So, but I need 10% fat. So because of this, option 2 is also rejected. That is not possible. Okay. So option 2 is out, option 1 is out. Now let's say P and R. So if I'm talking about P and R, so P and R, 20 and 50. Can I have a 30% protein? Yes. And P and R, can I have a 10% fat? Yes. So I need a 10% fat. That is a fixed value. So I'll say 0 and 40 and 10% fat. So apply the alligation rule. 40 minus 10, it is 30, and that is equal to 10. So I need to mix them in the 3 to 1. So in option number 3, it says P and R. So I need to mix them PR in the ratio 3 to 1. Okay. And the cost for P is equal to 50 and for R it is equal to 500. So what is the total cost? That is 50 into P plus 500. So that will be equal to 650. So option 3, it is giving me 650 overall cost for how many units? Total unit is 3 plus 1, 4. So option 3, it is saying 650 by 4. Per unit cost is 650 by 4. Is that part clear to all of you? Please tell me yes or no. But I need to find out the minimum. So option number 4, Q and S. Let's see. So if I'm talking about Q and S, so that is 30, okay, 30 and 50. In both the protein is more than 30, it is satisfying. So fat is 50 and 0. I need 10. So again, apply alligation rule here. Okay. So if I apply alligation rule for option 4, that is 50, 0 and 10. So alligation rule, that is equal to 10 and this is equal to 40. So that is 1:4. So I mix them in the ratio 1:4 and this is what? Q and S. So the cost of Q is 200. So 200 into 1 and cost of S is equal to 100. Okay, 4 into S, so 4 into 200 upon total 5. 402 plus 200, that is 600 by 5. So definitely 600 by 5 is lesser than 650 by 4. Yes or no? 600 by 5, it is 120, it is lesser than, so answer can't be option number 3 also. It is either 4 or 5. Let's check the option number 5, R and S. So mix R and S. Again 40 and 0. So 40, I can say it is equal to 10. So I can say that is 10 and this is equal to 30. So the ratio is 1:3. And here R and S. So R 1 unit. So the cost is 500 into 1. S 3 units. So that is plus 100 into 3 upon total cost is equal to 4. 1 plus 3, 4. So that is giving us 800 by 4. Which is 2. But I think 600 by 5 it is 120, which is less. So the answer is option number 4. Any doubts for you now in question number 24? No. Can I move to the next question? And the last question. Let's see. Now it says, in what proportion should P, Q and X? So I need to mix P, Q and S to have at least 60% carbohydrate at the lowest per unit. So P, Q and S. So price of P, Q and S, let me see. P is 50, Q is 200 and 100. 50, 200 and 100. So this is 50, 200 and 100. Okay, that is given to us. The question is, in P, the carbohydrate is 80%. In Q, the carbohydrate is 10%. In S, it is equal to 45%. The question is, in what proportion should this be mixed to make a diet having at least 60% carbohydrate at the lowest per unit cost. So ratio is already given. So we can work with the help of the options. Okay. Okay. We need carbohydrate minimum 60% as well as cost should be also minimum. Cost should be also. If you observe in almost all the options, the value of Q, it is 1. Yes or no? This is 1, 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. So I am saying that I just need to take 1 unit of Q. Okay. 1 unit of Q in almost all. So everything depends upon the unit of P and S. Okay. P or S ko kya lu main value. So we can work with the help of the option. Or in any case, we can say, if I need a 60% carbohydrate, then P should be the maximum. Proportion of P should be the maximum because 60% chahiye na. Q is here 10, S is 45 and P is 80. But I need the average to be towards 60, which is closer to 80. So it means I should take more and more quantity of P. So if I should take more and more quantity of P, so on the basis of this, I can select option number 1 as well as option number 3. Is that clear? Because Q is fixed. So among P and S, like if I say this is 45 and this is 80 and I need minimum here 60, na? So 60 here, the closer to 80 here, there is a gap of 20 here, it is closer to 15. So there should be more weight towards P. So the quantity of P should be more than the quantity of S here. So on the basis of this, I can reject 2 of the option, that is option 1 as well as option number 3. Is that part clear to all of you? Please respond. Okay. So now we need to check just the 3 options, that is option number 2. Okay. So in option number 2, let's say 4. So P, that is 80 into 4. I need to check whether it is coming out to be more. 80 into 4 units plus 10 units plus 45 into, that is option number. Okay. So this divided by how much? Total, it is equal to carbohydrate, it will be equal to upon 4 plus 1 plus 2. So that is 320 plus 10. That is 330 plus 90. 330 plus 90. That is 420 by 7. So that is exactly 60%. So option 2 में 60% तो है. Alright. Let's check option number 4. That is 80 into 3 plus 10 plus 45 into 2 upon 3 plus 1 plus 2. 6. 240 plus 10. 250 plus 90. 250 plus 90, that will be equal to 250 plus 90, yes. 340. 6, 7, 6, 6 are 30. It is less than 60%. So in any case, this option also rejected 4th. Now, option number 5. 4 unit of that. So I can say 4 into 80. Okay. 4 into 80 plus 1 unit of Q and is to 1 unit of S upon 4 plus 1 plus 1. So 320 plus 10, 320 plus 10, that is equal to 420 and 420 plus 45. What is 420 plus 45? 420, that is 465 and by 6. 6, 6 are 36. It is definitely more than 60%. Yes or no? Sorry, 320. This is 365. Not 465, 365. So in any case, it is more than 60%. No? So answer can be option number 2 as well as option number 5. Both of them are satisfying minimum. But I need to find out in which case the cost is minimum. In which case the cost is minimum per unit. No? Lowest per unit cost. It's not like that here. Yes. So in the option 5, cost per unit, I'm taking 4 unit of P. So that is 4 into 50. 1 unit of Q. So that is plus 200. And plus 1 unit of S. So 1 unit of S. So I can say that is cost is nothing but that is 100. And upon total by 6. So 50 into 4, it is equal to 200 plus 200, 400 plus 100, that is 500. So that is equal to 500 by 6. So 500 by 6. So that will be 83.3. Okay. Now, in this first case, what is the total cost? Option 2, 4 units of P. So again, that is 200. Okay. 1 unit of Q. That is 200. And 2 unit of S. So 2 into 100. That is 2. And a total number is 27. So I'm taking 600 by 7. So, okay, 1 by 7. That is will be coming out to be equal to 85.7. Very cool. So the answer will be option number 5. Here the cost is minimum. So the correct answer for this is option number 5. Now tell me if there is any doubts to anyone. Now if you observe, there was not a single question in this year which were based on the logical reasoning, isn't it? Almost all the questions are pure DI. One of the question is somewhat logical, that is here. But all of the questions are pure DI, it was not LR. But that can be also the case. It might be possible that all the questions this year is based on DI. हो सकता है ना? No, there is no pure LR also. Okay guys, so tell me if there is any doubts to anyone. No. Alright, so we'll stop here. And I'll upload the videos on the YouTube also, so that if some of you want to revise, you can check there. So tomorrow we are going to discuss CAT 2006 paper. Now that was also one of the difficult paper. 2006 was a difficult. So see you all tomorrow. Good day to all of you.